Hi, welcome to Starbreeze.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Originally founded in 1998, Starbreeze Studios is one of Sweden's best-known game studios, located in the university city of Uppsala, 40 miles north of Stockholm. Starbreeze released the surprise hit The Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay in 2004 to critical acclaim, and to this day it still stands out as one of the best games ever adapted from Hollywood. Following that success, Starbreeze went on to develop the well-received The Darkness in 2007 based on the comic series of the same name. Now, the studio is revisiting Riddick with the double-billed Chronicles of Riddick: Dark Athena, which features a HD remake of the original Butcher Bay, in addition to a brand new sequel. We travelled to Sweden to meet the team at Starbreeze, and the game's producer Samuel Ranta Eskala was on hand to tell us more about the game's development.
The project started out as a remake. It was a full remake of Butcher Bay. The 360 crew wasn't able to make the game backwards compatible, so that left the game on only Xbox. So we felt that it would be cool to lift it up and just do a remake. Lift it up so that PS3 users and 360 users will be able to play it. The game is the same. We fixed some minor quirks, some areas that people found frustrating, some gameplay mechanics that was a bit rough in the edges, so we polished those. But we went through all the characters, all the levels, all the textures, all the audio, gameplay scripting. We went through it all and lifted it up, made it fit to the next generation of consoles.
We tried to keep the original vibe, because I myself was a fan of the old game since I didn't work on it. When I really liked the vibe, and when we first remade the music, we felt, oh, it's much bigger and much more varied. And after playing it with a while, we felt, where's the original vibe? Is kind of gone now, isn't it? So we actually took a step back again and tried to keep the vibe from the old game, but give it more variation, so it isn't that static.
We also felt that we need to add something new to this. So it started out as a small add-on. That was the embryo for the Dark Athena. It was about 2 hours game time or something like that. But as the project progressed, we felt, yeah, we should do more. We really should do more. So we added a bit more. Still hadn't recorded the story or anything. We're just fiddling about, testing a few levels, creating new levels here and there, and like putting it together, and rewriting the storyline, and it all just grew.
The new Riddick game, it started out as a remake of that old Butcher Bay game, but then once we started working on it, it became a sequel to that game as well, and now we call it a requel. Yeah.
A requel.
Yeah. Remake and a sequel.
Awesome.
It was like a small baby that was given birth at the beginning of 2007, and then grew within the studio, and now it's become a full-fledged beast. When we started out the project, we knew that there were two things in the previous game, and there were probably more, but two things especially that was captivating for the players. That would be the pacing, the ups and downs of the game, and how things vary. You get new experiences, you encounter new gameplay mechanics all the time. We're not overusing a single gameplay mechanic, we're trying to throw surprises at the player all the time. And we wanted to move that into the Athena campaign as well. So when we've designed the Athena campaign, we've always had the thought in the back of our mind that every level should have something unique about it, to give the player some variation of the previous gameplay, which will drive the player through the game and always thinking, what's around the next corner?
Listen, I'm the only chance you have.
I don't care who you are. You understand? I just want to know that my Lynn is all right.
One of the things that sets Starbreeze apart is the authentic voice acting, motion capture, and cinematics found in each of their titles. Here, you can see me having my face scanned into the studio's in-house 3D modelling system to be potentially used in a future game. Here's system engineer Teddy Bergsman Lind to explain.
The thing about this photograph is that it contains a lot of information that makes us be able to do this.
Wow.
So this encodes diffuse and specular normals in a specular map and a diffuse map and an ambient occlusion map. And all these maps, all these angles are then projected onto a single model. This is your diffuse component and your specular component, your normal map, and your specular normal map.
Wow.
Wow.
That's freaky.
So it's basically a photograph that you can just reposition the light sources in.
The team also has its own dedicated motion capture studio and worked personally with Vin Diesel, his gaming company Tygon Studios, and Universal Studios. Starbreeze developed a new technique to ensure the actor's likeness was portrayed in Dark Athena. Art director Jens Matisse tells us more about the process.
We developed this technique that we call Vocap, which is the simultaneous capture of facial animation, body animation, and sound.
Johns. Should have cracked the hull and watched him vomit lungs.
Oh, Spinner, hon, you got a thick skull sometimes, don't you? John's a merc just like you and me, and when a merc turns into a most wanted, price shoots sky high.
Usually, people don't really do all of that at once. They might capture the face or the body, and then they dub the sound on later. Basically, in the original Riddick game, Butcher Bay, we didn't have this, and so we had really great acting, but we never felt like we could get the characters, the actual physical performance of a character in the game to match the performance of the actor. Because generally what you'll do is have some sort of automated sound analyzing thing that interprets the sound and then transform that into some sort of open mouth movement. And you can tweak that with a lot of keyframe animation and make it look really sweet, but that takes an obscene amount of time. So it's not really feasible for like a semi-adventure game that we're doing because we have such a large volume. So what we started looking at was, if we can capture the sort of full definition of the audio from an actor, why can't we capture the rest? So we developed this technique whereby we basically, for all of the voice actors we bring in, we suit them up in a mocap suit, put the facial markers on them, and then put them in a sound studio with a lot of motion capture cameras. And then we record their entire performance at the same time. To sort of keyframe all of that would just be impossible, or it wouldn't be impossible, but it would be extremely time consuming, but more so we wouldn't get the actual performance. You would get the performance of an animator. But we're looking at, and this also impacts then casting, so we tend to cast people who has sort of physical attributes or ways of moving physically that are different from each other. So since we're doing this, we can sort of, just by motions alone, tell an actor from another actor, which is very cool.
I want him dead, Riddick. He's eating me up from inside. All I want is to see him suffer. Kill him for me, and then bring back his gold tooth to me, so I know you done it, see? I'll help you out if you do. You have my word on that.
So how important is the audio side of the game?
The standard cliche answer is that is 25%, and it is a big part of this game. There's a lot of music, there's a lot of sound effects, and of course the voiceovers. The actual acting is, oh, that sound really. So it's really important. Actually, one of my absolute favorite sounds for the game, that is Vin Diesel's voiceover.
The Aguirre system, full of desperate suckers who couldn't make it anywhere else. With his desperation, there's opportunity.
It's very, very, very special. And actually, there's no processing on top of that. It's just the raw samples from the studio. The guy actually sounds like that. And you heard it downstairs in the big theater. Well, it makes your body shake a bit, doesn't it?
Revis, still looking for me. But I found you first.
Well, and his narrative actually brings a lot to the game. It drives the motion of the gameplay forward and really connects you to what you are and where you are.
The variety, and and the change of pacing is extremely important, because I mean you can make a really, really good game with a solid game mechanic, but if you use that game mechanic for 10 hours straight through, it's gonna get kind of boring after a while. So you want to have something new. I mean, the Hollywood concept is first you have the introduction to the movie and it goes up, and then suddenly it goes down, and then it goes up again, and then everything crashes, and they have different names for all these periods in movies, and then at the end everything gets fixed and everybody's happy. That's the general concept of making a movie in Hollywood. The game industry hasn't been good at adopting this. I think a lot of game developers are not very aware of this, but games are also storytelling. It's all about captivating players, and of course we cannot use the same concept, the exact same model as movies. They are basically 1.5 hours, and people watch it from start to beginning in one sitting, while a game is probably played in 5, 10, 20 sittings, which means that you have to have many ups and downs. So you continuously give the player, for every sitting, give them a bit of up and down to get the same experience as a movie.
How much creative license did you have to kind of bring your own ideas and thoughts into the universe?
Very much so, which has been really sort of good for us. Both the original Riddick game and the Athena game has sort of, for various reasons, allowed us to sort of make our own story the way that we would like to make it, and sort of let the entire game flow based on that.